Hey Whitney, young scholars, this is Kelsey Timmerman. You may remember me from the book that I wrote that you read, Where Am I Wearing? So thank you all so much for dedicating some couple weeks this summer to kind of broaden your worldview, for hopefully reading my book and thinking about it. So I was asked if I would judge some of the essays that came in, and I read them. You all did a great job. I really appreciate the way you're seeing outside of our own communities and kind of seeing our role in the world. So keep up that. I chose a winner. The group who I chose to win, I'm not sure what you're winning. I think it's an all-expensive paid trip to the Cayman Islands. I may be wrong, though. I hope I'm right, and I get to go with you, I think. We'll go scuba diving. It'll be great. Go visit Stingray City, something like that. So I'm really looking forward to that trip. I could be wrong, though. So the winner is the group who did a report on Honduras. So that group includes Dalton, Natisha, Sam, Anna, and Davida. So awesome job. The reason I selected yours to be the winner was I really liked how the fact that you kind of equated being a local with the interconnectedness that we have with folks around the world. And one of the things I really appreciated too, how you focused in on the education of our children and how we educate the next generation. You know, they have the greater ability to impact, to really impact the lives of the people who, like the folks I write about. So I often talk about people say, well, have your books changed the lives of the people you wrote about? And I'm like, not really. You know, I wish I could say yes. I wish that Oprah selected my book for a book club and there was just this big, huge movement behind it. But even then, I don't think it would really impact the lives of the people who I wrote about. But I think that by reaching folks like you, by reaching students around the country, and having started to think about how do we all fit in as consumers, as producers, what are we going to produce with our lives, I think that maybe the decisions that the next generation makes will impact the lives of the children of the people who I wrote about. So I really appreciated that in your essay. So a couple things I'd like to say here. As you read Where Am I Wearing, I hope that you didn't feel guilty. Guilt really doesn't do a whole lot. I hope you felt connected with them, with the folks I write about. Hope you take that the next step and feel responsibility. And I hope that you appreciate the opportunities that we have in our lives. And I think that you should only feel guilty if you're not fully exploiting those opportunities that you have, and then using those skills that you acquire, those passions that you discover, to impact the lives of people in our local and global communities. I talked a little bit about, it's not just about consuming, right? It's about not just consuming, but what are we going to produce with our lives? What kind of impact are we going to make? And often as I talk with students, they feel like in these issues they can't make a big impact. Like, they're not buying a lot of clothes, or not buying a lot of fair trade this or ethical that or whatever. As consumers, they're not really consumers a whole lot. They don't really control those decisions. But here's the thing. When it comes to these issues, students have led the way. They've kind of been our guide when it comes to this progression towards a more ethical society, more ethical economy. So take heart in that and know that you can make a big impact. Students have controlled what their cafeterias serve them in the lunchroom, what uniforms their schools wear. I know there's a school, I'm going up there to speak in Cleveland this fall, that they're just now sourcing all of their school uniforms from a factory that's a living wage factory. And they're educating the students about why they are doing that. And that's something that the students have asked for as well. A small group of students have asked for, and a former graduate who has made those connections for the school to that factory. So those are really cool things to see happening, whether it's clothing or whether it's food. So my second book I wrote was called Where Am I Eating? So I talk a lot about food as well. So these are ways that we can be more ethical consumers. But I encourage you to be better consumers, more ethical consumers. But more than that, think about what you are going to produce. Let me see if I have anything else on my notes here. I think that pretty much covers it. So congratulations, Whitney scholars, on 2 weeks of kind of broadening our worldview and taking these lessons back and sharing them with your families. If you'd like to connect with me, I am Kelsey Timmerman on Facebook. That's my Instagram, KelseyTimmerman.com. This big logo you see behind me is kind of what I am producing other than books. It's something called the Facing Project. It's a community storytelling project that connects people through stories to strengthen communities. And so if you're interested in the Facing Project, we're having a lot of chapters pop up in high schools and colleges. Go to facingproject.com. So congratulations and enjoy the rest of your summer.